Hey everyone, and welcome. It's Nick Libert with Exit Realty. This is my April newsletter, and boy, what a month we've had. Very interesting things going on in the real estate market and in the world at large. Obviously, I'm hoping that you're all safe and sound. Health is so important right now. But overall, I've got some questions on the market I wanted to answer in this video, and I brought on some friends with me. Before I even begin with them, I want to give you two resources. The first one is we are doing a lot through a special website we've set up at Exit Strategy that is called exitstrategymovesyou.com. It's got a bunch of resources for you in the 4 key focus areas we always are talking about. That's health and wellness, personal finance. Your personal finance, of course, is key, but also your real estate needs, and then your charity and community. What's going on, what can help you, and how you can help. So go to exitstrategymovesyou.com. That website's going to be up for the entirety of this crisis, and we will be updating it regularly. The second thing I want to tell you is that we are talking about, scary as it is, forbearances, forgiveness on loans, and short sales. So we're going to have a special clinic on that. It's going to be a virtual clinic. You can just get on that webinar. The Eventbrite link is going to be at the bottom of this video. So just look in the links here, and you're going to have that video. So that is going to be, or that Eventbrite link to the webinar. That webinar is going to be April 22nd at 4 p.m. Feel free to pass that information on to anybody that is in any sort of situation where they feel like they may need to be missing payments. They may want to get rid of their place and they're underwater on it. We are here to help. And speaking of being here to help, beyond that webinar on April 22nd, I have wonderful friends with me today. I've known them both for one almost a decade, one I think over a decade at this point. And I want to bring them on individually to talk a little bit about things in the market, because this much we know is that at the end of the day, this is my house you're looking at in the background. We're all going to need a roof over our head. And now more than ever, we're realizing how important shelter is to us. So if you are currently sitting there at home going, well, I may need to put my place on the market, or I want to upgrade, or I want to downsize, or whatever that situation is, there are things you can do right now to begin the process. And before I begin with my first guest, just know this much as well. You have an opportunity to sell this spring or summer when you know that banks are still lending, unlike the financial crisis of 2008, 9, and 10. Banks are still lending. Buyers are still looking, even though we're all sheltering in place and trying to be safe. We're doing a lot of virtual showings, virtual open houses. We're gonna have a big virtual open house, so stay tuned to my social media feeds for that. There are people out looking, and you know, there's a lot of people stressed out about work and their jobs and the economy overall, but there are some people that are continuing to look. There's some bargain hunters out there, and there are some people that just, they need to move, period. So know that there is a time and place to put your property on the market, and you might as well get it ready now. So I'm going to bring on my friend, Brock Williams. He's got his own interior design firm. He has a ton of experience. If you've ever been to my home or on social media, even you've seen some of Brock's work at my house. He's done a lot of my clients and friends, their homes. So Brock, tell us a little bit more about what someone that's looking to potentially sell in the coming weeks or months may want to do to their home now to get it prepared.
Hey, Nick. Yeah, so for me, home staging tips. Also, first of all, thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it. Always do. So home staging tips that you guys can work on while you are sheltered in place. Lots of time to work on some of those things now. So starting from outside in, front to back, as far as your house goes, curb appeal is going to be your main goal. You want someone who is going to be driving by to be like, oh, wow, that's a house that I would really love to live in. And then also, you know, anyone that's actually looking, you know, on any kind of MLS listing or Redfin or something like that, you know, you want your house to stand out, and it's usually the first picture that people are going to see. So curb appeal, looking good from the outside. Easy way to do that is going to be inviting patio furniture if you have a front porch. If your condo building has like a lobby, something like that, trying to make sure that, you know, things like that are looking nice and tidy, or you're going to refresh some of that. Spring is coming, so you might be able to sit outside on that. So you can enjoy that in the meantime. Easy to read house numbers. So when someone is driving by, you want that to be the first thing that they're able to see, is that the address is going to line up to what the property is that they're looking for. Another little tidbit for curb appeal is going to be Some potted plants. Everyone always loves to see that greenery. Spring is around the corner. All that stuff is going to start to be in bloom, so it's going to look even better. Nice easy one as well is to light the walkway. If you have like a house or something like that, you have a sidewalk leading up to your house, people that are driving by at night are going to be able to, you know, really, it's just going to catch their eye. So you can light that walkway and kind of lead their eye up to your house. Also going to help with those easy to read house numbers. The second one, once you've moved into the house, is going to be a pretty self-explanatory one, but make sure your house is super clean. I would say hire help. Definitely those kind of people, even if you don't want to bring them in right now, when you are ready to stage and actually bring people into your home, cleaning is going to be the most necessary thing for sure. You want every surface to sparkle when someone walks in. That being said as well, clear any kind of clutter out of the way. So for some people that might mean buying an offsite storage unit to actually bring in, you know, take away actually some of their personal belongings and store those away into a storage unit to declutter the house and make it look like, you know, everything that's there is meant to be there. You want to make sure, along that note, make sure that your closets are going to have 20 to 30% of storage space available. You want to make sure that, you know, all of your closets look like you can always put something more in there. Once they're overstuffed, people are always going to assume that the closets are too small. They're not going to be able to fit all of their stuff in there. And then it kind of runs that dialogue in their own head. But if you leave just enough space in there, it looks just right. Next one would be to minimize your style. So right along with that storage unit, minimize the things that are your style specifically, but still make it personable. People want to envision themselves in the home. Make it their dream home. You know, put out the fresh flowers, fresh produce, books on a coffee table, the nightstands, you know, kind of make it homey, but not too personal to your own touches. So that'll be an easy way to make that happen. For something like the dining room, a way you can do that is to actually set and stylize the dining room table. Make it look like they just walked into a dinner party that you're hosting. So that way they can imagine themselves entertaining in that space and in that home and actually start to envision themselves really enjoying themselves and utilizing every inch of that space. For the living room, you can rearrange the living room space for a conversation area. So it'll take away the focus from the TV. That might not be how everyone's gonna live, but it's gonna invite people in more when they're actually looking at the space. So if you pull the furniture away from the walls, use a rug to delineate the space and create that conversation area, people are gonna respond a lot better to that. For the entire house in general, paint colors are key. You want to keep it neutral and everything will start to become cohesive throughout the house. And it's relaxing to the eye and it'll attract the most buyers because a neutral palette always allows them to envision their own colors. For something like the bedroom, keep along with that neutral palette, some new bed linens with a new throw pillow, and then maybe just a small pop of color goes a long way. So beyond all of your regular rooms, if you have something like a bonus room, use that really wisely. The amount of people who are working from home increases every year. Obviously, everyone right now is working from home, so they're really kind of zeroed in on something like that. So really make that room shine. Let's see. Obviously a home office is always a great way to increase your home value. Next would be to kind of entice people to explore the whole home. So using accent walls, if you do want to do something a little bit off the neutral color palette, use, you know, just a slight accent wall will kind of draw people's eye throughout the home, as well as using artwork, rugs, anything like that to kind of pique their interest from one room to the next as they're walking through the home. Even virtually, it'll still work that same way. You can utilize any kind of awkward spaces in your home as well. Try to get creative with those. You know, under the stairs, create a kind of like reading nook or, you know, small space that you have. Do like a bulletin board or a chalkboard really easy to get a paint can and just create your own chalkboard. Really easy to do with some of those little awkward spaces that can kind of bring a little bit more of a unique touch to the home. And on something like that, you can kind of play up your neighborhood. So a really easy example is something like Wrigleyville. If you live in Wrigleyville, you can put up, do a chalkboard of a Cubs sign. You can do, some bulletin board, things that you've done around the neighborhood, tickets to the Cubs game, something like that would be really easy to kind of play up that neighborhood vibe, so that people can start figuring out and envisioning how they're going to actually start to live in that neighborhood as well. The last thing would be, if you have a backyard, don't forget about that. It's one of the last things people probably see. Just like the inside, create the conversation space outside as well. So if you have any kind of like patio furniture, something like that, really easy to just kind of grab a rug, delineate this space, and maybe something like a fire pit is a great way to actually kind of have people envisioning themselves entertaining both inside and out. So using every space imaginable to kind of bring everybody in, bring everybody together, and really show them how you can use every inch of your home.
Brock, thank you so much. Brock, how do people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you more?
Yeah, so I have a website, modernimpactdesign.com, or directly through my email, which is brock@modernimpactdesign.com.
All right, Brock, thank you so much. Feel free to stay on. We'll have you in the background here. So Modern Impact Design does wonderful work. Also, just so everyone knows, when you're out there right now questioning, should I put up my home on the market, things like that, know that so far we've not seen a significant amount of price drops. We're seeing some price drops. So there's a little bit of opportunity for value shoppers, but overall, appraisers are still going out. Appraisers are appraising things out at the value because they're looking back at the comparables from January and February. It might be smarter, particularly if your home is vacant, that you actually put it on the market now before any more uncertainty or shift happens. So if it's vacant, I have photographers that can go out. We've got Sentry Lock boxes up. I'm doing virtual showings, virtual open houses. I've got virtual tours everywhere. So the market is moving despite all of the chaos out there. So we can absolutely help you with that. Moving on from that, I want to talk to another good friend of mine that I've known for over a decade, I don't even know how many deals with at this point. My friend Marla. She has been a wonderful resource for me for a number of my clients. She's actually doing Brock's refinance on his condo right now. So Marla, I'm hearing some rumors out there that there are lenders that are raising the criteria as far as credit scores. Some lenders are lending on certain products. Is that across the board, or is there something more to this?
Hi, Nick, and hi to Nick's database. Thanks for watching this video. So that is lender specific. So some lenders are a little bit spooked by the market, by what's going on. And so they have increased their credit score requirements and made other requirements stricter as well. My company and a few other companies have not done that. So basically our requirements for credit scores, debt to income ratio, down payments are the same as they've always been. So we have a lot of very generous options. Conventional loans go down to 620 credit scores. FHA loans can go down to 580 with 3.5% down payment. They can actually go even lower if you have a higher down payment. We're still doing a lot of down payment assistance program loans, and those can go down to 640 credit score. Debt to income ratios are the same. Down payments we have as low as 3% on conventional, 3.5% on FHA. Plus, if you get the down payment assistance, it's even less than that. So not really any changes that I've seen with my company, but like I said, a lot of companies are. So I think the main thing is that sometimes if people hear that they don't qualify, they think that means that they don't qualify for any loan. But what that really means is they don't qualify with that lender. So they have to be careful to make sure they understand that that means that that lender's requirements are different, but they can shop around with other lenders to find out if they qualify with those companies.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys are still doing quite, a lot of opportunity out there for buyers. Another question for you. So right before all this happened, and at the beginning of this, we saw interest rates go to near record lows. Then they spiked. Are they back down?
Yeah, interest rates are still near record lows. There's obviously a lot of volatility day to day, but they are literally the lowest they've ever been. I've been in the industry 15 years, and even people who have been there before me, I mean, the stories that people tell when rates were 18% in the 80s, I mean, this is definitely the lowest they've been. They're definitely different for every situation. So depending on the loan type, how much down payment, the credit score, what property type, there's variances. But most people for 30-year loans are in the low threes, sometimes mid threes, usually low threes. I've had clients in the getting 15-year loans below 3 and mid 2s even. So it really depends on everyone's situation, and it's day to day. The rates are constantly changing. But the value of having a low rate is substantial. People know it's good, but they don't fully understand it. So to give you an example, if you got a loan today with a 3% interest rate versus a loan that was at a 4% interest rate, the difference could be $100 per month. And if you turn that and flip it to purchasing power, if you want to stay at the same monthly payment, that gives you an extra $15,000 to $20,000 of purchasing power to stay at the same monthly payment. So it's pretty substantial, you know, and that's 1%. If you sit and wait and rates go up even further than that, 2%, you know, to get into the 5s, which is still historically pretty low, I mean, it's a substantial jump. So taking advantage of the low rates is really going to give people a lot more bang for their buck.
Nice. And then loans still closing in 30 days about?
Yeah, so for our purchase loans, we're prioritizing those because obviously those have to move a little quicker. So those are moving in 30 days or less if they need to. Refinances are probably more about 45 days again, so we can prioritize the purchases and make sure those get through. But the refinances aren't as time sensitive, so.
Okay. And so overall, just to summarize, guys, there is an opportunity out there. Sellers, there's not that much out there to compete with because a lot of people are in their property and they are not able to show it. So there's less buyers out there looking. There's also less inventory to compete with. So I can probably get you some activity that I may not have been able to get you 2 or 3 months ago. Buyers, Marla just said it best. There is opportunity for you as well. Get out there while safely, but get out there while there isn't a lot of other people looking. We were seeing in January, February, a lot of multiple bids and people competing against each other. It's not the case right now as much. So opportunities for buyers as well while these interest rates stay near record lows. Marla, how do people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you?
Sure. So you can reach me email, phone. My phone number is 773-617-2424. My email is Marla, M-A-R-L-A, .barch, B-A-R-C-H, at myccmortgage.com. And the C is just the letter C. So my C is in cat, C is in cat, mortgage.com. So either way, they can follow me on social media. I often post different educational tidbits about home buying and whatnot.
Nice. Well, thank you to both of my guests today. They're both educators. My passion is, as you all know, is education and value. So I'll tell you 2 more things. Number 1, if you want me to price out your home, I don't have to come there to do it. We can do something by video. I've even got a tool on my website, so you can just literally put in your information. It'll send you the basic comps, but I can just virtually get a view of what you've done to your house or what needs to be done. And we can do a lot of this stuff remote now. Secondly, if you're a buyer, I want to send you my app as well. Get the process started now. Marla can help you fix your credit, look at what's going on at this point, get things situated for 3 or 6 months from now, just the same way that Brock can do as a seller. So guys, I am at your service. I appreciate you. I'm thinking about you. Have a wonderful month.